in Virginia celebrating a circuit court win after ruling the newly passed Democrat-led redistricting map was unconstitutional just one day after it passed. This legal battle begins as other states nationwide have already joined the redistricting fight, including major players like California and Texas changing their congressional maps, with all eyes now turning to Florida.
It didn't faze them when it was going the other way, Eric. For 15 years, they didn't even cover the story.
It did not, and not everybody is reacting well. This fine lady here had to go in front of the Supreme Court and express her feelings.
Oh my God! She's going to throw blood? Uh-oh.
Shame on every single Supreme Court justice who voted to take away our rights as a people.
Just got hit by a bus. I love, dude. This should be the poster. It should be the commercial for anyone running for any office on the Republican side.
She's not
literally yelling at stone buildings at this point. I mean, it's the greatest time of our lives, Eric, to watch these cats melting down over these incredible setbacks. What did they spend? $100 million on this?
I think it was 38, to be fair, but Obama full tilt in there. I mean, having to watch his ugly face on ads, sitting there going, "They're trying to steal the election for MAGA, and you've got to do this."
Right. Well, I guess the Democratic court in Virginia thought otherwise.
Yes, and part of it was the marathon. I mean, it literally was a marathon. It was California style early voting.
Yeah.
Because I remember, let me see, the actual final vote went in like last week of April, and I think somebody was saying that in March, early March, like, Eric, you're going to go out and vote, Eric, and I voted on the day because I kind of like it on the day, but sometimes I do it early, but it's like, come on, but it went on and on and on and on, and
until they had 5 votes in the plus column, and then they said we're good.
That
was they wrapped it up as soon as they got into the plus, into the majority Democratic column. They said they called it a day.
Right, and I do want to point out this is a rare time in late days that I was so happy to see a court intervene.
Wow!
For once, for a good reason, and they stopped it at the time. So they literally stopped it the day after the vote, which was good, and very clearly struck down a Democrats' redrawn U.S. House maps, giving Republicans a win, and a very needed win. I mean, it was disgusting. If you have spent any time at all in Virginia, the idea of stripping Western Virginia, who, by the way, are ruby red, bleeding red. I mean, probably Trump plus 30 or somewhere in that range, saying, "Oh yeah, your district doesn't count. We're going to go ahead and start in Northern Virginia and make it like a spoke. All the districts are going to kind of come out." Oh my God.
Well, also Tim Pool was talking about the lobster, that there was one that was shaped like a lobster claw, which he was showing on the map that they had created out of thin air.
Now, is that evolution from a salamander to a lobster, or is that
the salamander still exists? The salamander exists. I
know.
Right. Absolutely. This was a new creature they were trying to create.
I would argue, I think Jordan Peterson goes into the lobsters and how they've been around for millions and millions of years. So they actually pre-existed. So they're going backwards in time
in evolution
to a lobster. So amazing. But a good day, and I'm super, super happy to.
Dude, look at Memphis. Look at Memphis. How they trifected Memphis into 3 slivers. I mean, Tennessee, one of the great side stories not even being covered yet is the destruction of the black vote in Memphis. They sliced that up into 3 slivers.
Oh, actually, yes, I even have a clip pointing out irony on that one.
Yeah,
because they're very upset that a particular Democrat's going to lose a seat. Steve Cohen, I think is his name.
Okay. A little ironic that the woman now who is likely going to win the 9th district in Tennessee is a black Republican woman as a result of this redistricting effort. It's likely going to be a black.
Look at the expression on the left. Look at that. That's the hate there.
You know how much I spent on this processed hair, bitch? Do you know how much money I spent on this to tell me that some black chicks or Republican MAGA is going to take over Memphis?
Yep. And look,
look. Maybe we're seeing a sea change now to prevent these midterms from being a disaster, Eric.
Oh, this is definitely going to help. I don't know if it'll prevent it, but it will help a great deal. And I will tell you that one on the left, I'm glad she doesn't have a pencil or a pen, because it looks like she is going to probably stab the woman on the left, left, if she got an opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, you're talking about just with the setup the way it is now, before the midterms, looks like 14 seats are available to be picked up by the red side.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
now, I mean, you could lose by 20 and then have a -6, in the column, but it bodes well at this time.
That's true, but it's not often I get to celebrate things happening in my state. So I've got more good news coming out of Virginia.
Oh, go ahead, let's go.
Okay, so here we go again. Powerful Dems jabs at Trump come back to haunt her after her office is raided by FBI. Her comments age well. What happened, do you ask? Oh, don't worry, Mark. Here we go.
Thank you.
This is the offices. FBI.
Look at Snoop Dogg walking by. Do you see Snoop Dogg?
Yep. Well, that's because her office is next to a cannabis dispensary, which is also hit with
Dude, the guy had his plastic bag and his e-cigarette filled with weed, and he heard that and he said, "Oh, I got to keep moving."
So yes.
Cannabis outlet, 1215 High Street. Hey, wait. Guy in blue shirt, wait there. Please stop moving. Put your hands up.
That's the guy with that's the black dude.
What the hell, man?
That's funny. Man. That's funny.
You're ruining our buzz. Anyway.
Right. Yeah, beautiful.
So
did they take her down, the fat one? Did they take the fat one down?
She did not get arrested, but this is who you're talking about. State Senator Louise Lucas out of Portsmouth, which is a neighboring city to Hampton. It's across the water a bit.
Love that.
But she made a specific point when Trump was having problems of saying, no one is above the law. I love that. And I agree. No one is above the law, Senator.
I mean, it goes without saying.
Lucas, so may you get arrested next. And God only knows what's going on, because it's like they busted the dispensary at the same time as her office. She's the apparently the primary figure behind the cannabis in Virginia, which is going rampant.
Right.
Oh yeah. No. So this is.
I'm telling you, they can't run white collar crime. They are just not good at it.
No.
That's not their specialty.
This is true. But either way, it is a good day. And while we're on redistricting, because there's just a lot of news on that, I got one more.
Go for it.
This is out of Utah, where an activist judge voted to redistrict, and they managed to tuck out like a little pebble of blue in the middle of the state.
What is that? That's their one seat?
Yeah, essentially. But every seat counts.
No, I agree. They're incredibly valuable.
So this is what happened to this particular judge.
This is in Mormons in the News today on CBS.
All right, it's a little bit quiet, but essentially what happened is the woman in that picture, Utah Supreme Court Justice Diana Hagan resigns.
Oh, wow.
Why did she resign? Well, she was under controversy for sleeping with one of the people behind the redistricting.
Oh, I got you. Wow.
What
is there anything that works cleanly for them, where you just, where it's just, straight up clean? It always seems to be some kind of controversy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then they're always slinging judgment or making comments or
well, what are they going to do in Virginia? Go to the U.S. Supreme Court? Good luck. They've already ruled.
No, I think it's done. I mean, state Supreme Court.
I'm saying that because what's his name? Not Ro Khanna, the other guy, the other Muslim cat, the speaker, said, the minority leader said they're going to fight this. I'm going like, well, where are we going to fight this? In a ring somewhere in Brooklyn? I mean, where do you go from here?
I don't even think it can get to the U.S. Supreme Court because it's a state's issue.
Right.
It's literally the state has a right to, do everything. The Supreme Court already ruled, and they said partisanship. So it's partisan. There you go.
If you get into the weeds of their ruling, they basically said it violated the Constitution of the state, Virginia. The Commonwealth of Virginia, which is what the ruling really says.
And the people who determine Virginia's Constitution is Virginia state, state Supreme Court.
Yeah, they're done.
So,
well, that's 4 up on the big board. What else do you have?
Okay, well, let's just do a quick hop overseas. Let's see. Reform just broke, and this is hours ago now, but anyway, Reform just broke 1,000 seats with more to come, and these are all newly elected people. They were hoping.
Wait, what country is this?
This is England.
Oh, okay. All right, good to know.
It's a bloodbath for Starmer.
Okay.
Essentially, they went from 2 seats up for re-election to winning 1,010 seats as of 4 hours ago.
Wow.
Take a look at these numbers going across the bottom here, and this is that period of time. Reform, the brand new party just barely created, a few years ago, 1,010 seats. Liberal Democrats 670, Labor 643, Conservatives 582. Blown out. I mean, it has turned their politics upside down. This is Nigel Farage, the guy behind Brexit back in 2016. I hope that with this kind of massive sea change, maybe they can turn back and push back the clock a little bit on the invasion they have going on right now. I don't know, but let's hope. Let's hope. And good on our British friends for really coming out. And this is, by the way, this is not they say it's the far right-wing party, but the truth is it's a reform party, and there are a lot of people in there from the left as well. It is it is a populist party and extremely working class. So you've got working class.
Well, that's to them, that's far right MAGA, so
it kind of is
by their standards.
It absolutely, but I do appreciate it. It is literally the end of it. Now going to your state, specifically your city, and your councilwoman, I guess, is losing traction. She is now falling rapidly behind Spencer Pratt. She's at 24%. He's at 27%. Karen Bass, I don't know where the 44% is coming from.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from either. There's a lot of undecideds. Let me put it, 40%, high 30s undecided. So Pratt yesterday declared he's going to win this with 51% in the first round. It was a bold prediction. A Joe Namath to beat Baltimore Colts prediction in the Super Bowl here by Spencer Pratt.
I like that he did that, though. I think that was smart, because if he does it, it's over. He wins. It's clean and everything else. And the momentum is on his side. And by his doing that, he set a goal on the board. And a lot of people who might have been uncertain, they might be doing the Joe Namath thing. They might be saying, hey, let's make this happen.
Mary. It's funny. I was watching Dave Rubin yesterday. He had on Dr. Drew, and he was talking about the election, and he built up this whole thing, Dave Rubin, at the intro. And then he said to Dr. Drew, what chances, how much he liked Pratt and everything else, Rubin. And then he said to Drew, what are the odds of him winning? And Drew said 0. And he said, what? He goes, why? He said, because he's Republican. And Rubin didn't even know that. He thought he was running as a liberal Democrat. You talk about not doing your homework from where you used to live. I was kind of embarrassed for Rubin.
That's true, but I think that he has shown himself to be far more formidable than people realize. And a lot of people on the cusp are turning. Like, he's getting the mainstream Democrats, I think you're saying. And he's framing it perfectly, too. He said, oh, no. I have all kinds of Democrats voting for. My whole family are Democrats.
Yeah.
The only people against me are the communists and the socialists.
Right.
It's not the Democrats who are against me.
He's right about that.
He has reporters like this guy who is apparently from CBS News and who's written a book about the fires, who are now coming out. And this has got to be helpful for him.
LA's first mayoral debate got off to a heated start.
She's an incredible liar.
No name calling,
She just
please.
lied, though.
But a few exchanges caught my attention because they touched directly on a year of reporting I've been working on the LA fires, being published by Simon & Schuster next week. So let's fact check some of what was said, beginning with the wind.
The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour. For those first 6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour.
He talked about the winds. That is just completely inaccurate. If that were accurate, then the planes would have been able to fly.
Weather modeling reviewed for my reporting shows winds in the Palisades during those first several hours of the fire were in fact under 40 miles per hour. Planes could and did fly. The stronger winds intensified later in the evening, and that distinction matters because the earliest hours of a wildfire are often the most critical for containment. Second,
it's also, if I can add, in the valleys, the winds were at 100 miles an hour in the canyons, I should say, which is not where the fire was occurring.
Right.
So she knows that, Bass. And in the Palisades itself, it was about 35, 38, a little bit under 40.
No, fair enough, but it's nice to see this guy's kind of a mainstream guy, and he's sort of coming out saying, "Yeah, you know."
Mayor Bass's trip to Ghana, she addressed this directly.
It was one of the worst moments of my life.
Oh,
to
really?
not be here when my city needed me, and it didn't matter where.
It's
I
not
was
your
or
city.
Why I was away.
But according to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the emergency response, it did matter where the mayor was. My reporting found Mayor Bass knew about the dangerous weather before leaving for Ghana. Communications to emergency managers described her as only being, quote, out of state. And while she was overseas, her office continued posting on social media images and videos that appeared to place her in Los Angeles. Sources told me the lack of clarity created confusion during the opening hours. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley did not initially know the mayor was even in Ghana, and according to sources and records reviewed for the book, after Bass was briefed by the chief on the growing fire, she still attended a cocktail reception in Ghana and did not respond for more than an hour to messages from Los Angeles.
She's so brave. Her worst day of the life to still attend that cocktail party.
It was the worst day of her life. She had to be there for the inauguration of a brutal African black dictator because her heart goes to Ghana and to Cuba, where they've now relaunched many, many photos of her kissing Fidel Castro as a 22-year-old revolutionary.
Absolutely. So stunning, so brave.
No, it's great that Cuba's in the news now because Pratt, dude, he is cranking out, or Curran is, cranking out these AI commercials.
Oh, I got one.
That even Mark Halpern had to put one on yesterday.
Well, this is the one.
That was a great.
I played another one in the side, but no. This is great. It's a parody of Downfall.
It has come to our attention that a Spencer Pratt political ad is going viral.
I already saw it. The one where he's crying about his house. Give me a break with the sob stories. It's time to move on.
No, ma'am. This is a new ad, and it seems to be more powerful.
What do you mean another ad?
It already has millions of views on X. And ma'am, the production value, it looks like $100 million film.
Where are they getting that kind of money? I personally shut down every damn studio in this city.
Ma'am, it was an AI filmmaker.
What do you mean it was an AI filmmaker? Comms. Polling. MIMWG2 SLBBTQQEIA. Stay. Everyone else, out. Everyone in the entertainment industry is supposed to be out of Los Angeles. What even was the point of the fires? Wasn't the Kamala endorsement supposed to seal the deal? This is meant to be an easy win for me.
It moved 0.3 points, ma'am.
The race might be lost. But if you think I am giving up this office, you are sorely mistaken.
Whoa. Wow. I mean, some of these are great. The Batman Joker one series are fantastic. The Gotham,
great.
The Gotham City ones are great. I mean, it's either he's going to win or it's not going to make a difference. So this is going to be a good test case.
I agree.
To see if a normal person can actually win versus two word salad Marxists, Eric. You know what I mean?
100%. I totally agree. Now, I want to share this because you brought up Cuba. So these are kind of rolling right into each other. This is Representative Pramila Jayapal out of Washington.
Yeah.
A Democrat, and she's talking about Cuba.
In January, Trump issued an executive order threatening tariffs on any country supplying fuel to Cuba. This was this January, just a few months ago. And oil shipments from Venezuela, that's where Cuba had been getting its oil, were halted after the U.S. operations to kidnap Nicolas Maduro. Since January, only one Russian tanker of oil has made it to Cuba. In fact, it landed just a couple of days before I landed. And
before she landed. Note that, everybody, before she landed. Where? In Cuba.
Wait a minute. What is she? Okay.
Has enough oil basically for 10 to 14 days of Cuba's oil needs. So it's a very limited amount of time. Now, Russia has said they're going to send another tanker. I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places, and I know other countries in Latin America are trying to figure out how to get oil there. But it is a crisis beyond imagination.
It's beyond imagination.
Beyond imagination.
It's beyond any imagination, the crisis. Dogs and cats living together, men and women, frogs falling from the skies.
Well, guess what? During all of this, she was in essence announcing that she personally is working with foreign countries to get the oil to Cuba.
Isn't that a violation of an?
It's not the Logan Act violation, supposedly.
No. But I mean, there's an embargo of a foreign country. I mean, you're militarily breaking that, working with our enemies, Eric.
As a sitting congressperson,
they've got to physically arrest them, pick them up, let them lawyer up. If they win their case, they win their case. Throw 85 charges at them. Maybe 5 will stick. Who gives a shit? You have to intimidate them. What is so hard about intimidation with this administration?
I 100% agree with you. It is.
It's mind-boggling, and I think it is the morality and tone of Susie Wiles, a loving grandmother of 20 grandchildren, that sets the tone in that Oval Office. Sure. We need a brutal, savage military intelligence colonel as the chief of staff to come down on these people with the hammer of justice.
Dustin in the chat. Comer will write a letter.
Yeah, strongly worded letter.
Absolutely.
An SWL. Send me another SWL. Almost as strongly worded as the housing group in Venice that was running the housing project there. That I don't know if I sent you a copy of this strongly worded letter to the tenants regarding the meth man of the month yesterday or today, actually.
Yeah, you just sent it. So hold on.
This is the greatest worded letter of all time. I've got a copy of it here in case Eric can't find it that I could read from.
I've got it. I'll pull it up, but it's related to the story, right? So
right,
why don't we go right to the story, and then
the story falls into everything Eric and I talk about here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did not know this. I've learned from Mark that it's a rule at hand that if there's a sword involved, especially a samurai sword, that is the meth signature. It's taken me a while, but I've learned.
I know. I try to educate Eric about this oddity. Just to back up on this story, they built a low-income housing project at the residents of Venice, California, which is a high rent district. Near the beach, which is where you want to be if you're a homeless meth addict. They built this on Rose Avenue. If people know Venice and know Santa Monica, it's kind of a high rent district. And they fought it. The tenants fought it, lost a number of years ago. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. This tenant of the building came out with a samurai sword and cut a guy's arm off who happened to be walking by. So that's weird enough, but that's the meth of the face of meth this month. This is an innocent victim. So they issued this statement, and this is the kicker. That's the guy, and you can't see it, so I'll read it in case you can't see it at home. This is from May 7th, Eric. Dear residents, you may be aware that there was an incident in front of Rose Apartments this evening. Unfortunately, our neighbor, Justin Tucker, shown here, was involved with a sword, which they don't mention. He is suspected to be armed and dangerous. If you see him, please do not approach him. Please return to your unit. Stay in your unit and call 911 so an ambassador from the city can show up with a yellow vest. Let the operator know that you're calling about the stabbing incident that occurred at 720 Rose Avenue earlier today. If you would like support at any time, please call the Venice Community Housing Crisis phone at blah, blah, blah. In case you don't know Justin like we do, here's a picture of him tonight. Take care, Allison Riley and Erica Lee, co-executive directors of the NGO Venice Community Housing Corporation.
My favorite part of that, 2 words. Our neighbor.
Yeah, dude, it's brilliant. It's absolutely genius. They can't throw the guy under the bus because that would be saying that we're saying he did it. So they have to say our neighbor. Unfortunately, our neighbor. I don't know. Is it unfortunate that he's our neighbor? Or
well, it's like they're talking about Johnny, their cousin. I mean, it's like,
unfortunately, our neighbor Justin Tucker was involved. It could have been anybody else, but that wouldn't have been so fortunate. But unfortunately for us, it was the guy who lives next door who's smoking meth and has a samurai sword.
Good old Justin. You all know Justin.
Everybody
love Justin.
knows Justin. And in case you don't, there's 2 photos of him down below. No mention of the guy who had his arm hacked off.
Oh, no, he's trouble.
He ran away with the sword. He's on in other words, Justin hacked the guy's arm off. God forbid you should say anything about the guy who had his arm hacked off. But
Mark,
poor Justin, the meth addict samurai sword wielder, he's probably cutting more arms off. They have to use the sword. It's one of the rules of meth. And I thought I'd bring this to your attention today.
Thank you for your attention to this.
Thank you. Again, people say, what is your scientific evidence, Mr. Groubert, about meth? And so I don't have any scientific evidence. Just 5,000 meth stories of guys with samurai swords on meth. That's my scientific evidence.
And by the way, that'll be cut into a short, probably tomorrow or the next day. And I did want to put this out really quickly before I go on. I have started to clip out, and people might have seen it, like interviews that we've done. I'm going to start clipping segments of the show.
Fun.
With the idea, 10 to 15 minute segments where we're covering the story. And the idea, I will mark all of them as AUS clips in the title, because I understand if people see something in their timeline and they're like, oh, wait, I've already seen that. I get it. But these are for people, if you want to share them with other people to get an idea of what the stories are about, what we're talking about. It makes it more digestible and easy to spread it around. Please let me know if you like this or don't like it. I will be doing that for a while, but I'd like to, get some feedback from all of you.
Oh, please contact me if you've had a relative with a meth sword in your life. I'd like to hear those anecdotes from the people of the United States and where you're from. It doesn't have to be a relative or a friend. It could be a random sighting of a sword meth addict, or you saw someone chopping someone up with a meth sword. Anything related to meth and swords, I'd like to be notified at this time.
All right. Now, I want to shift into probably the new sexy hot story of the day. And for the theme of that, we have Mario the Martian here.
Who is this guy? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh,
Marco the Martian.
Dude, he's had so many meme outfits. It's hard to keep up with him.
Exactly. But I thought, what? I saw that earlier. I'm like, okay, this is perfect. We have UAP releases, etc., that have been going out today. This is something that Mark has been following a whole lot more than I have. I don't know why. I just kind of have almost an aversion to UFO stories. I don't know. It's just kind of not a thing.
Well, they're not really stories. I picked
popular.
out one that I thought you might like, of the visual images of some of the photos. I picked out one. There's not that many there. There's in the low hundreds. But again,
more supposed to come. Well, kind of like the second JFK thing. As a matter of fact, the last line of the story, and I will hand it over. The last line of the story I thought was so perfect because they talked about Trump's order to release UFO files come after he mandated the release of records related to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator RFK, and Martin Luther King Jr. in the first week of his second term, January 2025. Those disclosures revealed little beyond what was already known about the trio of murders that defined the turbulent 1960s. Which
absolutely,
so
but it's still promises made, promises kept. He's not saying there's anything in there. He's saying If you go up, there's one I wanted you to see. Go up a little further.
Well, I've got this one here. That's
go ahead.
Footage.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And you can see, which I'm looking at that, and I know people will break it down and say, "Oh, that's obviously running against the direction." I'm like, is it an artifact on the film? I don't really know.
Right? Who knows? Of course, it's ridiculous. The point is that these were being withheld from the American people, and now they're released, and that's really what Trump is doing with all this stuff. Him and I'm not saying there's anything here either. But the fact is, why keep it secret and why perpetuate this stuff?
I agree.
If you scroll down, there's one of a ellipse of a blimp-like photo.
This here?
No. A little further down. That one. This is apparently the one that I thought was of interest. There's a composite sketch. There's another one. There's another one I sent you a picture of separately of this ellipse. From the files. This is an illustration. There's an actual photo like this in black and white that stands out from the rest. If you see that, but
oh shoot, okay, yeah, I got it. I have to download it and upload it and move it around.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. The point of the matter, there was one that just stood out as being, big and interesting looking. The rest of them just look like dots on a screen, to be honest with you.
It really does. And my problem is that, it's like without a radar, how do I know? Is it metal? What's causing you to care? Is it artifact? Is it metal? How do you determine what it is or anything else? So
I'm sending you a
confused.
screenshot here of this thing here.
No, I've got the screenshot. It's just I have to download it and upload it. And put it up
I'm sorry.
In order to display it. There's like 10 steps.
You're not missing anything. The reality of it is, promises made, promises kept is my takeaway from the thing.
Which is fair. And by the way, the picture is just a black and white of this exact picture.
Yeah. I don't know why they have
this.
There's I guess they colorize that black and white.
Yes.
For some reason, I have no understanding why. But even the picture that I sent you, which is the black and white version of this, looks phony as fuck. You know what I mean? It just looks phony as fuck. So somebody sent it in 1979. They couldn't figure it out, and they put it in the can't figure it out file.
Well, it literally is unidentified. Not necessarily. People are continuing by saying, "Oh, it's this," but really, they're not saying it is that. They're just saying,
"We don't know what it is.
We don't know what it is." But it is a big deal, and it means a lot to a lot of people. I'm not trying to downplay it just because I'm saying I'm kind of going.
No. I'm not downplaying it either. Having had a close encounter myself, I'm just saying there's nothing in the visual evidence that strikes me as being unusual and jaw-dropping. I'm sorry. I wish there was. There just isn't.
Again, though, we have more to come, supposedly, but. While we're talking about space, I'm going to use that to shift to Star Wars.
Nothing but Star Wars.
I think is a good, decent segue. There we go. Boom. Add to stage. Mark Hamill, apparently he wanted to make a post, which he said that everybody got confused about the message. So let's explore the message.
That's the message? It's complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah, let me see. It is it's Trump dead in 2024. Did something happen in 2024 that could have resulted him being dead, I'm wondering, do you remember anything that happened, say, July 13th, 2024?
Fascinating. Good point.
Yeah,
how about picking him up and roughing him up? Pick him up and drag his ass. Let Mark Hamill take his limited money and hire some attorneys and fight the federal government, but drag his ass in for threatening the president of the United States.
Right. Now, here's his weak sauce reply. In a new post Thursday, he wrote, accurate edit for clarity. He should live long enough to be held accountable for his crimes. Actually, I was wishing him the opposite of dead, but apologize if you found the image inappropriate. Now,
that's after
the opposite of death. I mean, that's obviously the opposite. I would never interpret.
The horse is out of the barn, Eric. You know, he committed a crime and threatening the life of the president, and now he's trying to cover it up. Great. We'll see you in court. Go drag his ass into criminal court. I mean, somebody's got to be dragged in. You can't just have this free fire zone, have an assassination attempt on the president of the United States every 2 months, and then have more verbal, physical, video statements about the assassination of Trump. At some point, you've got to push back.
I agree.
And the way to push it back is to take down the celebrities. That'll scare the rest of them below them. Nothing scared the celebrities more than the Manson killings.
I agree with that. And especially like Mark Hamill is a borderline C-lister at this point.
Right,
yes, he did Star Wars. It's a big deal. But, you know, he's like barely able to find work. Yeah. He's embarrassed when they put him in roles. He's like, please, can you write it differently so I don't look like a moron?
He's trying to keep his SAG medical insurance. They have a tradition of doing favors for people like that to keep their SAG insurance.
Well, Angela Lansbury did that, right?
Yeah. It's been done for years.
So Murder, She Wrote. All right. Well, to segue out of that, we've got the defense for our latest assassination attempt. Talking about that. The WHCA dinner shooting suspect Cole Allen targets DOJ in explosive bid to shake up the case. So he is going after Janine Pirro and saying that she is a personal friend of Trump and thus an activist. Plus, she was, I think, at the dinner.
Also, the lawyers mentions Todd Blanche because it's the same applies to Blanche. So they're asking for recusal from the Pirro and the acting Attorney General of the United States.
Which, of course, with Mark, he's like, I'd rather somebody else besides Pirro anyway. So, yes, we'll get somebody better.
I would rather have someone other than Pirro. I think she's in over her head. And, I did want to address this thing. There was some confusion last week about this, and I'm not going to let it go because I believe that in that shooting segment that Eric just showed, this is an important part of the case because it goes to means, motive, and opportunity on the part of the assassin. If he is, and I'm just going to lay this out again for the 900th time, I'm sure there's a lot of gun nuts out there. This is not a debate with gun nuts. I don't care about that. This is about what this guy is packing and where the projectiles went from that Mossberg that he is shooting. I believe this may be birdshot is the whole point where I was trying to make this past week, because the guy would be blown back against the wall by some sort of buckshot or double odd buckshot. He's not, Eric. He completely returns fire, so to speak.
I can't even see where he did it. That's the
right.
thing.
I'm saying, to me, I'm not letting this go, not because I'm a gun nut, but because I'm an assassination buff. And the entire case, in a lot of ways, hinges on what he loaded into that Mossberg. And the reason I mention that is because of his statements saying, I do not want to inflict casualties on civilians, which in my mind, and this is just my theory, he loaded that gun up with birdshot and intentionally fired it as a diversion to get through. And I think that was his plan, was to use that shotgun to
drop
get
it in a pistol.
Yes. That's what I was trying to explain this week before I was attacked by 9 million gun nuts from Nebraska. I don't care.
And we understand, and by gun nut, and that Mark does mean gun enthusiast,
of course,
or gun nerd. And by the way,
Right.
when we say that, like I say, I'm such, I'm an Apple nerd. I'm a tech nerd. Just means somebody who's really, really into something. And
right. No.
researches it.
I'm saying that tongue
Mark's
in
a
cheek.
baseball nerd.
I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but just to show you. Hold on for a second. I want to show you something here.
He's trying to show, don't come to his house. He is ready for you.
What I was trying to explain last week was, using my own Mossberg, which is the same as the one that he was using. This Mossberg
for YouTube is unloaded and is rendered.
Oh yeah, no, it's completely unloaded. But the point of the matter is, I was not into having a debate about ammunition. I mean, here is some game loads of mine. And I think that's what he was using is the point. And before I got off the rails with people attacking us last week, I believe he was using birdshot, and that will go into his defense. Is the only thing I care about is not the weaponry involved, but the motivation of the assassin, Eric.
Now, I'm not a lawyer. I hang out with them because I have questionable taste in friends. Present company is proof, but I don't know if that makes a difference.
It may not. It may not.
Because if you have a weapon, literally there is a charge that says to have a weapon in an incident, it doesn't matter your intent or otherwise. I think it's great. Go ahead and say, I meant to do it, because it doesn't matter. You still came in with a shotgun.
Again,
that is a lethal weapon.
I'm not a lawyer to get into the weeds of what matters, what doesn't matter. But if you took an unloaded gun to a shootout and intentionally left a note saying my gun is unloaded, I think you can manipulate that in certain ways with a DC black jury. Now, he also had one of these. This is my Beretta, by the way, which is unloaded. He also had this. So, I mean, I had both of these weapons, as do tons of other people. Sure. But what I was trying to explain was, I think that Pirro did not serve the case well by saying that they found a bullet in the vest of the Secret Service agent, to quote Janine Pirro. If they did find some either a buckshot pellet or birdshot, I don't know. That's what I was bringing up the entire argument about. I don't know what she is talking about. And he was not blown back by anything, the Secret Service agent.
No.
Again, there might have been blanks in there for all I know. I don't know. I'm not usually that guy. But the fact that this officer was not even pushed back an inch by a shotgun blast, whatever is in it, double-aught, buckshot, birdshot, the guy didn't even flinch is the whole point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, to such a degree that I can't even tell you. I'm assuming it was the guy that kind of shuffled off to the side, but I don't even know when that went off.
Oh, you see the gun turret. You see the gun turret aiming at this guy, and then you see some blast coming out of it. My question is, what? And they also said there was one empty round in the chamber of the shotgun. Now, mine takes 6. I don't know. That one that he's holding is a 5. But regardless of that, he had the 9mm and he had the other weapon. So he was loaded for bear. As Eric said, it may not make a difference. But I think they're already stepping on their own case by making these inaccurate claims in the filing that we pointed out on last week's show, and also in the firing of the weapon and saying that they found a bullet inside of the Secret Service agent's bulletproof vest.
I agree, because
that's all I'm trying to say.
I think they're trying to trump it up a little bit, or increase the charge, but they have plenty to charge, and they can wind up burning themselves. I think is what you're saying, because
that's my point.
If they go, okay, he shot the agent, and then it can be proven that he didn't. There's any question, then now you've just dismantled a chunk of the case,
it'll give a jury that hates Trump an avenue to get him out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I was going with this argument before I got bogged down as to weapons and cartridges and stuff. Sorry.
And autism. And by the way, when we say autism, we're talking about ourselves. Mark calls me F-face, and you don't want to even hear on the phone. This is like we grew up calling our friends the R word that ends with a D, and things of that sort. And it's just a term. It's not meant to be.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, but the point of the matter is we have other stories to cover, so we're going to get into that.
Absolutely do.
You want to cover Iran now?
Wow, what a coincidence. I happen to have this story here that U.S. forces sent tankers trying to break Iran blockade, and military saying we've stalled 70 ships. Now, I thought this was interesting because I saw this headline. I had to read it multiple times to figure it out and read the article because it was very confusing. And that's this story. Iran seizes U.S. sanctioned tanker carrying Islamic regime's oil in Gulf of Oman. Now,
what?
Okay, this sounds like
very wordy.
At a surface, it sounds like they seized an American protected vessel. Oh, go cheer Iran! But if you really look at it and then read the article, no, it's saying that Iran seized their own oil. They stopped it from going out, so it probably wouldn't get blown up out of the water.
Right on.
It appears preventing that from happening. It was a Barbados flag tanker, and it was forced back to the southern coast of Iran following an attempt to harm and disrupt oil exports by exploiting regional conditions. Their own military said. So it sounds like Iran was saying, don't push this shit. We don't need to get shot right now. I thought this was a very interesting story. That's why I brought it up.
They seem to want it both ways. They want to show a little bit of pushback to save face, the Iranian military. Trump is trying to minimize it because he wants to make a deal to get out of this thing. And you've got both of these sides attempting to, one side attempting to stall for political reasons, the other side running out of time, meaning us, because of the different political pressure from the enemies from within. It's an insane cakewalk that Trump and the administration have to do within their own country to, because of the people inside the country trying to undermine this international effort. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The delicate dance he's doing.
I don't know if I froze or Mark froze.
I don't know. I'm moving around. But the reality of it is he's again waiting on their situation, which Eric has pointed out, can only end with their complete surrendering of their uranium and nuclear hopes and ambitions and projects. Other than that, it's a non-starter. So the question is, how many times do you do this dance? Trump is addicted like a cocaine addict to deal making. We all know that. Sure. He would much rather have a deal than blow up fucking infrastructure. That drives him insane as a builder. I think he goes into some emotional meltdown if he's got to blow.
It's wasteful.
Yeah. I think it emotionally hurts him to blow up buildings and bridges. It really does. I really do, Eric. I really do. And I think but they know that. They know his psychological profile as well as any enemy does. That if you wait him out and keep using the deal at the end of a hook, any deal, he's going to keep snapping at the hook for a deal and try to run out the clock, which is what the Iranians are doing.
The thing is, though, I think that their little attacks, and I'm just saying little because, I mean, attack's an attack, but they're not that threatening. And he's even downplaying it and kind of mocking them a little, saying, oh, it's a love tap. Oh, it's this, because I think they're feeling pressure and they're trying to draw fire. They're trying to do anything to get something to move because I think it's hurting. I think they are getting their assets compressed right now. So they're trying to draw the U.S. in to maybe up the political pressure because right now, who cares? Everybody's like, well, okay, it's a blockade.
Well, is it possible? I know this sounds everything. Is it possible? I know this sounds crazy that there are separate elements within the administration in Iran that are just doing whatever they want. That it's not a unified government. I know that sounds crazy, But is it possible that there's Iranian radicals doing stuff and military people who are not under central command anymore? You know, I mean, think about how divided we've made them physically and militarily. It could be elements that are rogue, you know, within the Iranian military.
Well, and they're not even really technically rogue, because from what I understand, the Ayatollah, the late Ayatollah, gave them all orders to be the last Japanese soldier, if you will. So
right, I'm just
if
using
you
the
lose
word
communication,
rogue.
keep attacking. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
I'm just using the word rogue as a spinoff, you know, for the mainstream. But you're right. I mean, what does this guy do? I mean, I'm in favor of Operation Linebacker. Operation Linebacker, for my friends who are from old enough to remember the Vietnam War, Operation Linebacker 1, Operation Linebacker 2 was when the North Vietnamese were jerking Kissinger and Nixon around during the Paris peace talks. They were looking at proposals. They would sit on them for 5 days. They would fight about the shape of the table. All of this stuff that the Iranians are now doing, and he is well aware of Operation Linebacker 1 and 2. We bombed the living shit out of Cambodia and North Vietnam while we were waiting for their proposals, because they were intentionally jerking Nixon and Kissinger around during the peace talks at the end of the war. And I am in favor of doing the equivalent of Operation Linebacker at this point. And I think that's where Trump is going to go, because they are not going to buckle until there's much heavier military force raining down upon them. The North Vietnamese are a model for the Iranians, in my humble opinion.
Well, I think there's one other approach. I'll defer on my opinion a little bit. I think that it's tied directly to China, and I forget where he's meeting with China.
Who was running North Vietnamese foreign policy at the time? China.
That's true, but I think his meeting with China, you know, coming up is really a linchpin where he's going to say, you pull them to heel, or we take them out. You know,
right? No, but I'm just saying part of the style they used with North Vietnam and China in 1972, 3, and 4 was the fact that they intentionally stalled for time doing this thing during the negotiations, and that's why Nixon and Kissinger went to this mass bombing, carpet bombing with B-52s called Operation Linebacker 1. Still didn't work. We went back to the table in Paris. They did it again. He went to number 2, and they finally signed the agreement to end the Vietnam War.
Yeah. And
unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen here.
Well, hopefully, or China brings them to heel.
Yeah. I'm just saying the common denominators
harms them even more.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying the common denominators of both wars are China.
Fair enough. Okay, now I'm going to shift to this story because I don't know, did you send it or I saw it? But anyway, breaking deep state leaks CIA Iran War Dossier. Now, this is some despicable
I said that
things.
This morning. Yeah, I mean, this is old school deep state now going back to work to undermine the administration. This is it.
Now, let's look at this exchange with this reporter.
You're facing an opponent right now in Iran that has refused to submit. You seem optimistic now as we may be closer to a deal. What's different about this moment?
It's too quiet, so I'm just going to say.
Oh, you could sum it up. You could sum it up.
Yeah, the reporter is essentially saying, "Hey, you're pretty confident that Iran is going to submit," and the reporter's kind of coming with a thing of, "Well, how can you say that? I don't think this." So he's got some sort of intel or something going on, and I believe what that exchange is. Then they reported themselves, Washington Post, a confidential CIA analysis delivered to administration policymakers this week concludes that that Iran could survive the U.S. naval blockade for at least 3 to 4 months before facing more severe economic hardship. Do you know how damaging this is? If that's true, then that's encouraging it to go longer, which causes more harm to everybody around.
This came from a staffer of a congressional authority who was given the intel briefing on the Intelligence Committee. This came from a Democratic staffer on the Intel Committee who leaked it to the Washington Post. And that's why it's difficult to run a war in a democracy, because of these enemies within, these Marxists and and various enemies of the president. How do you have an open society like this and still function with secrecy, than not putting your own blood in harm's way, Eric?
I agree. And, I believe in the free press, but then there's a point where you've got national secrets and things going. They're
just going to leak it. Yeah. Just because you're on the Intel committee, there were such celebrities on that committee as Swalwell and Adam Schiff. So just think about the morality of people on the Intel committee.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. And then, as Justice said, this could be true too. Manufactured a phony report and sold it to the media.
That could be true too. Sure. Absolutely. I mean,
but as soon as you deny it or say something, then you're actually screwing with the intelligence. So it's a problem.
The writer from the Washington Post could have made it up. They've done this 5,000 times. Maybe he wants a Pulitzer Prize again.
Oh, by the way, that's a story I have coming up. Anyway, no, it's disgusting, the Pulitzer Prize, as usual anymore. All right, well, I want to jump back to the redistricting case from the Supreme Court, because I thought this was very, very interesting. Alito, in his remarks, had to rip Jackson because apparently they've been slow walking the decision to get it out there to screw with the midterms.
I said that 3 weeks ago here.
Yeah, well, Alito actually put it in the comments and said, by the way, we decided this 7 months ago.
They're going to try to affect the election by stalling on their writing of the dissent. I wasn't the only one to say this. I think maybe James Rosen said it, maybe somebody else, but
sure.
Clearly they're slow walking this thing to affect the election. And I'd say arrest them too. Take that fucking bitch down. I mean, you can't just keep doing this, folks.
I agree. And it's despicable, because it's like, at what point is this? Do we need to come up with legislation saying you have a timeline, you have something? Because I guess the standard is 32 days.
Yeah.
And she's been slow walking it forever. So I think he's doing a service by putting that out there. Thank you for alerting everybody.
She should be questioned by the federal agents of the FBI. Should go to her house and question her, intimidate her. Let her scream bloody murder. She's illiterate anyway. She can barely write or speak English, according to everyone else working with her. Put pressure on people. I know this is difficult to understand. Put pressure on people. It doesn't mean you're shooting them in the head. There's other gradations.
Yeah, by the way, she's bad when somebody from her own side literally trashes her too, saying, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
That's awful. All right. Pulitzer.
I just want to add one thing. There's ways to do this. You can get a wiretap and put it on her phone and then release the tapes of her saying crazy shit to undermine her completely. It'll push her back into the closet. There's a million ways to handle things like this, but they choose to use none of them.
That's true. But then again, we still don't know who the leak was from Robert.
Right. I was going to say that. I thought you would mention that. And I think that's easily knowable. I mean, we have an incredible eavesdropping abilities in this country electronically. The fact that we don't know who leaked that is absurd. It's absurd. They're afraid to say anything. They're scared of Negroes in robes. Let me put it that way.
It's true.
Unless it's Clarence Thomas.
All right. So Pulitzer. Told you I had a Pulitzer story.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
All right. Well, literally, the Pulitzer was just handed out this week, and a New York Times defends Pulitzer Prize winning Gaza photographer amid baseless claims of staged scenes and links to Hamas.
Oh, my God.
Are you shocked at all that a photographer over there is linked to Hamas? This picture right here, this picture he put to show the damage of what Israel was doing, etc., except they had to retract it because the child had a deformity, a condition, a medical condition.
I remember.
This same son of a bitch gets a Pulitzer Prize.
They're just undermining. See, once you undermine your own institution, like the New York Times has done internally to themselves, what you have to do is to spread the contagion to other institutions. Otherwise, if they're not on the same page as you, Eric, anything can go south in a minute's notice. You have to bring them into the crime story. You have to all of a sudden take down the institution that it puts out the Pulitzer Prize. You can't have rogue elements running around looking like the Southern Poverty Law Center by themselves. Everybody's got to be on the same page for this phony system to work, like the Nobel Prize Committee.
I agree.
By the way, they did show up in court. That is, Joe Nobody showed up to accept no charges against them in the Southern Poverty Law Center criminal proceedings, led by no one.
Right. That is a question. Somehow he pleaded not guilty.
The institution pleaded not guilty. As I said, this is insane.
Yes. The leader of the group, I guess, Brian Fair, the interim president. So they don't even have a regular president? I don't even know. This is a joke.
He's not responsible for this. He's just showing up saying, I'm the CEO, and the organization is pleading not guilty. I mean, it's an embarrassment of a humiliation of an embarrassment. I said from day one, unless you have names in this indictment, it's a fucking joke.
I agree. And we had on Jonathan Gross. I just released the interview clip if everybody wants to check that out on the channel. And he also expressed it, and I think put it very eloquently, that essentially you may be locking a few boxes of files in a cell for however long, because that's in essence the effect.
Somebody should make a meme of a chain gang, and in the middle of the chain gang is a file box chained with a pickaxe in the South digging ditches, because that's what the equivalent here.
No, you could, or like filing cabinets with the chain.
Yeah, filing cabinets, trying to get out like in a jailbreak, you know.
Oh my God, it is so
the Republicans find a way to humiliate themselves when gifts from heaven fall upon them. They still find a way to humiliate themselves.
And I just don't, I do not get it. I hope it's like Comey, and supposedly there's more charges there, but
have you ever noticed that there's always more charges there? There's always more coming. There's always things under development. There's always things unfolding, and nothing ever happens.
Yep. I have noticed
there's a pattern. I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping ahead too fast, but I'm not going to be around forever. I'd like to see some results. They never seem to have the results.
No. No. But while we're talking about patterns,
go ahead.
I've got a pattern here. Part of the reason that I think these universities are so beholden to the quote pro-Palestinian cause, or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to put that as the nicest thing. I sometimes I think it's pro-Hamas. But anyway, is because of things like this. Radical students hold Cornell president hostage in car after Israel debate clash.
This was
and there's
so
a little bit of footage here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Talking about it.
You're running a student over? Whoa.
Damn.
Am I allowed to stand here? Ah! You just ran over my foot.
So the students were walking alongside of this guy for about a half a mile as he came from the university to his car, just taunting him and getting in his face nonstop, all the way to the vehicle. I don't know what he's supposed to do. He was talking with them, or attempting to, and they were not having a conversation. They were just making videos of him being taunted by them until they surrounded the car. Now, he could have come out and said, get away from the car. He didn't bother to do that. He backed up a half of a trillion miles per hour, and they were intentionally standing in back of the car. Do what you may. I would, I don't really feel sorry for the guy, although, he's the CEO of Cornell, who comes from a math background, an engineering background, as opposed to a political background.
Well, it's very easy. You are in charge of the university. You are the president of the university.
Yeah.
You have your own freaking police department.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
They can't do it. They can't do it. How about having a driver? How about having your own driver? A lot of people do that.
Well, I'm just saying, okay, if you can't do that, then expel them. I mean, it's pretty easy.
They want it every single way but loose. They can't go, and I've said this before on the show. These university presidents are really people who are running a 5-star hotel for people paying to stay at a 5-star hotel for 4 years with all kinds of services. The idea that he can do anything to the guests at a hotel is preposterous. They're paying all this money to stay at the equivalent of a 4-year luxury hotel with all these amenities. So if anything goes wrong, they attack the hotel manager, who are the presidents of these institutions, who always kowtow to them because they're essentially running a hotel. You're not going to get the hotel manager saying, go fuck yourself, there's no hot water, because you're paying $250 a night. That's in essence, and I'm exaggerating slightly for effect, but that's in essence what's happened to these institutions. They are merely expensive spas and hotels paid for by wealthy parents, and these kids want to be catered to. And you can make the argument that they should be for $200,000 a year. You can make that argument.
I guess, but this has been going on. This harkens all the way back to Brett Weinstein in 2015, 2016, whenever that was.
At Evergreen.
At Evergreen. So, I mean, this is a trend. And I guess I'm draconian. I'm like, I don't care. They should be charged, in my opinion. Charge a few of them and move on. Because
look, I agree. I mean, they have allowed them. I mean, look what happened at this synagogue in New York yesterday, 2 nights ago, where they tried to get into the synagogue, these pro-Hamas people. And if it wasn't for NYPD, I mean, it would have been a bloodbath. They went crazy. This was like a pogrom the other night.
Yeah, it's not just New York, by the way. This is Hampton. This is my hometown where I live, unfortunately. Investigation underway following vandalism at Jewish cemetery in Hampton. This cemetery is 130 years old, and they're desecrating it.
Wow.
They're tying it to an 11-year-old child. So they've got...
Really? He's the mastermind?
It's getting internalized all the way to children.
This is right. It's the new MAGA Reich. It's run by 11-year-olds.
Yeah. It's bonkers.
No, but this scene, I mean, there's also the case out here where this Palestinian supporter hit this old man over the head with a megaphone at this West LA rally and killed him. And he was sentenced to about 5 months in jail yesterday. And people are melting down over this thing, rightfully so. He smashed his megaphone over the guy's head. The older man, who's like 70, hit the ground and died, Eric. And he literally was cited with a misdemeanor in court, in criminal court. He's going to do less than a year, maybe 90 days.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that you have the reasonable amount of people saying this is a horrible, disgusting case.
Yeah.
You've got the other side there saying, how dare you give him any time at all? He should be given a medal.
No. This is the Third Reich. This is what happened back in the day. Of course, people have no memory of what happened 10 years ago, let alone 60 years ago. But yeah, this has all the earmarks of the Third Reich.
Unfortunately, it's 80 years ago, which makes it even more difficult. All right. Interesting stats coming out because, the world is falling apart. Everything is terrible. A U.S. economy, we're going in the tank, blah, 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 blah. Apparently, not as fast as everybody else.
Yeah, I noticed
that U.S. economy is leaving most other big countries in the dust so far.
The jobs numbers came out today. They were great job numbers.
Yep. Let's see. We expanded 2% in the first quarter compared to the previous quarter, and compared to the G7, who has had a 1.1% growth. But that's growth all over, by the way, everybody. Yeah. So at least it's there. Now, I did get in an argument earlier. Somebody pointed out that a lot of the growth here is because of the tariff rebates that are going to the companies, but that's not forcing them to hire people. So that it's still a good thing. However,
good job numbers. The gas is below 100. I mean, the oil barrels are below 100, and it will decline as the thing gets resolved, as everybody knows. But I mean, these pickups of these seats in these red districts, the redistricting. I mean, there's a lot of metrics going in the right direction, Eric.
Yeah, literally
Yeah.
Correct and politically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I have nothing to complain about right now. I mean, I'm shocked that we're in the good position that we're in.
I am too, and I hope that it's just a sign of times to come, because I feel like it's been stalled. We are hoping that it be a lot more explosive growth early. I hope it's still growing and getting better. Hopefully by summer. And of course, a lot of this is timing. If things shake out properly, that's going to help the midterms even more than the redistricting if the timing hits.
Yeah, nobody saw this Virginia ruling coming. Nobody saw this massive redistricting of every single red state. There's a lot of good positive signs right now.
There are. Now, there are still, there's obviously some clouds out there. I'm not going to pretend that.
No, of course.
That's it's perfect. I'm hoping, that we get through. People always love it when I say I'm hoping, but I am. So
that's a natural emotion.
Speaking of hope, maybe I will get $25 in the future. I'll be rich because Apple is settling a lawsuit over Apple Intelligence. I don't know if you know what happened with Apple Intelligence, but essentially Apple class action settlement could pay you money. See who's eligible. Anybody who's bought an iPhone over the past year, like the iPhone 16, there's a list of the models here. iPhone 16, 16e, 16 Plus, 16 Pro. Essentially have 16 or 15 Pro or Pro Max on it. You may be eligible for a payout if it all gets approved. This is covering the class action lawsuit over Apple Intelligence. What happened with Apple Intelligence, and it was a rare stumble by Apple, but Apple advertised in 2024 that they were going to have AI. They called it Apple Intelligence, but it's what everybody else calls artificial intelligence.
For AI, I guess.
Exactly.
Wow.
On the phone, and it was going to have all these features that are life-changing. Everything was going to be done locally on it, all the privacy, all these great things for people, and they did not deliver it, and they still delivered it. But the problem is this. They were advertising and they put out commercials saying, get the new iPhone, it's ready for Apple Intelligence. So they sold the product based on something that they did not
they're going to have to pay you back then. They're going to mail you a check.
Yeah, so they're going to have to settle this. Oh, yeah. Again,
speaking of checks, Eric and I are putting together a meetup in a couple of months, and we just want to remind you, because a lot of you people are old, you fall asleep on the couch while we're doing the show. I don't know how much you drink or what state you live in, but if you want to meet up with Eric and I, it's June 27th in Anaheim at the Anaheim Marriott, one of the great Marriotts of all time. And Eric has the tickets for sale down below somewhere in a secret posting.
I actually have some breaking news about that.
Oh, go ahead. This just in.
Okay. First off, I have a brand new image to show all of this, and we have a meetup, and Mark is incorrect. You can meet Mark and myself and special guest, Nate the lawyer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nate the lawyer will also be at the event if you guys want to meet all three of us. He's a special guest. You can point your phone at the QR code at the top right if you're on your TV. If not, americasuntoldstories.com/meetup will take you there. There's a link in the description wherever you are watching this. And there is also discount information for the hotel on that page, the meetup link, the page. I need to put the review of the hotel so people can check it out. I was thrilled to find out because there's another event happening in Anaheim called VidCon. And I looked it up and I was like, where is VidCon? Okay, it's at the Anaheim Convention Center. Oh, where's the hotel? Oh, right next to the Anaheim Convention Center. So anybody who's interested in VidCon or Disneyland or anything else, this is the best possible location I can think of. I was so thrilled. It's literally 1/3 of a mile or something like that from the convention center. I was like, oh, great. So I can just walk to the convention center. Mark,
I'm sure people at home are fascinated by your setup.
Well, because people want to walk to Disneyland.
Right,
I like to go somewhere
issue. Yeah.
and just take a ride, an Uber, whatever, and not have to deal with the car or traffic or anything else, and just walk around everywhere.
You don't have to.
And this is a perfect location for that. So we will be there Saturday for the event, Saturday, June 27th from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Dinner will be served probably between 6 and 7. We'll be doing a live show. It'll be a good time. And definitely consult anybody who's been to other meetups. Please comment below. Let people know, what you think of it. Don't take my word for it or Mark's. Everybody else, please share what you think of it.
Right.
I think you will have a good time. I really enjoy the opportunity to meet everybody and hang out. It's just a ton of fun. It really is. So I'm looking forward to the event, and I do hope to see everyone there. And let's go ahead and shift to rants and super chats. And we got a rant from the king of biltong. Biltong is one of the highest protein snacks available, incredibly satiating. It helps keep you fueled throughout the day. Again, it's biltongusa.com with the code AUS for 10% off. And I know I talked about the protein scam, but there is a protein scam out there. A lot of things say that the protein, well, this actually is high protein and pretty low calorie. I mean, it's pretty nutritious. It's high protein.
You could put it right under your saddle too. And
we've actually had it. I just had chili with it mixed in last night. And so you don't, have to eat it out of a bag. You can have it with chili. You can have it in different means, but it's really good. I hope you all consider checking it out. And then we have, let's see, David Medlock is a new member. Thank you very much. Pew Pew out of Norway. He can't stay. He said, have a good one, but he still donated with some Nordic kroners or Norwegian kroners. Thank you very much, Pew Pew. I'll see him tomorrow in the grill stream, I think. And we've got Zandenga. Glad when Democrats reveal their democracy is a euphemism for socialist/communist and proudly spend their time on behalf of same.
Yeah, I think they conflate the word democracy for their own political party. Yeah, and just say, democracy is in danger. I mean, the Democratic Party is in danger. Democracy dies in darkness. The Democratic Party dies in darkness. You could just swap it out, and you could see that they have tried to usurp the actual word democracy.
To be fair, they're narrow-minded enough, many of them, and there have been studies to do this. Jonathan Haidt has done a lot of work on this, that if you go out and he's done questioning, or like have questionnaires of conservatives, questionnaires of liberals or leftists, whatever you want to pick for the term. What he has found is that conservatives can name what the leftist positions are on politics, but the Democrats or the leftists can't in general name what the conservatives are. So that narrow myopic focus, I would argue, is tighter than people realize. They actually do think that Democrat is democracy, and that anything outside of that is not really
it's a republic.
Viable. It's all
there's no alternate word for them.
Exactly. So I think there's actually a mental hang-up in there, in my opinion. Diffuse 56 gifted 10 America's Untold Stories memberships. Thank you, Tractor Guy. Always appreciate it. Nick Giusti said, if you Google meth sword, the amount of sword-wielding meth heads out there is kind of concerning.
Really?
Happy Friday, folks.
Really? I thought I made it up. It was unscientific of me.
It's bonkers because the story.
I've been trying to tell you, they want part of this psychology, as rationally as I can explain it, is they want the other person to stop talking because they're talking a mile a minute. So when the other person starts talking, it bothers them. So they want to decapitate the head to stop the words from coming out of the mouth. And that's as close as I can explain it. I know that sounds crazy, but that's been explained to me by recovering methods.
Wow. Wow. It's bonkers. All right.
Don't do drugs, kids.
No, please. K-Dog 4703. Happy Mother's Day weekend. Yeah, happy Mother's Day weekend, everyone, by the way. Joan Rivers could have had an acting career. Mark Hamill did it, and he couldn't act.
That's funny.
That's true. But then again, it's sort of unfair to Star Wars actors because, as an example, Natalie Portman has proven she's a very talented actress. But in Star Wars, she sucked. If you write a shit script, there's only so much people can do with it. And George Lucas is not known for his stellar writing chops. As a matter of fact, I think by most accounts, Empire Strikes Back is considered the probably best of all the Star Wars. And that was written by two 1940s screenwriters that were not George Lucas. So, to be fair, maybe Mark Hamill could do a better job if we go to Corvette Summer or whatever his other stellar work is. Anyway, let me see. Taylor Pollock. Does DeSantis have a chance at 2028? Seems like he should get a cabinet position first for national visibility. Ron's public persona is awkward, but he is admittedly very effective, a la Rubio. I don't know if he needs a cabinet position. He's already been the governor of the second.
He's a rock star. Dude, he's Ronald Reagan in California. What do you mean? Should Reagan have taken a cabinet position in the Nixon administration? Come on.
Exactly. And I think Florida is bigger than Texas now and New York. So
it's an incredible success story, and he deserves a victory lap. He will be running in 2028, whether you like it or not. I don't mean you personally. I mean you people at home, because he has earned the right to do it.
Yeah, and I think
it's as simple as that.
I think a cabinet position may be too small for him. I mean, if go from governor to president, it's a step up. He
had no intention of taking any cabinet position.
No, unless it was Secretary of State. That would be about the only.
We seem to have one. So
yeah, well, he's busy. He's got 20 jobs. He needs to fill in. Taylor Pollock. This is from my mom, Tina. Mark. I like the look, the Wrangler shirt, the camo hat, and the guns. Yeehaw.
Well, you can get them all. I don't know about your mom, but you could get the hat at America's Untold Stories down below.
Yep.
The gun you could get on your own. The ammo you could get on your own. And there's plenty of swag down there for you to
absolutely.
To
we even have the superior Oswald, the dog, who's very famous. People really love Oswald. And yeah, the also pretty cool Groubert, not as good as Oswald, but still a fun pairing. And a lot of people actually have both of these. You can find those with the merch. And there's there's a monkey and a rabbit and t-shirts. We've got we were talking about Nixon earlier, so we got China, we got a panda.
Yep. And happy Mother's Day, Taylor, to your mom,
yes.
My mom, your mom Tina. I'm sorry.
That's true. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the crowd. John Springer, our Pulitzer Prize winning, back when the Pulitzer meant something and it wasn't an embarrassment like it is now. Question: why do you think Trump is letting Iran to continue to behave badly for so long, even if they can reach an agreement, they'll break it soon after?
It's not really a question. He is, again, using a presupposition at the beginning, saying that he's making this part up about Trump letting Iran continue to do that. Then he answers his own question by saying they'll break the agreement soon afterwards. So I don't know if this is a statement or a question. So it seems to be both.
A rhetorical question? No.
Could be rhetorical, but thanks for the do-re-mi.
All right, well, I'll say my opinion. I think that Trump he knows they're hurting and they're really not doing that much, and that's why he said, oh, it's just a love tap. He's kind of insulting them in a way. You know,
Oh,
because
look at the
they're doing this.
opposite.
You say, look at they're so pathetic. It's
Look at
it's
the
nothing.
opposite. 3 Revolutionary Guards in a inflatable speedboat launch a rocket and
Right.
take something out, and now he says, you violated the thing, all bets are off, I'm going to destroy you. Is that better? I mean, think
Right.
about the opposite of what you're saying, bro.
Right. That would be considered a bit of an overreaction,
Right.
potentially.
Right.
And this actually, it hurts their pride too, when he's like, that's all you got? Okay, whatever. You know, yawn. Next. Let me see, Diffuse 56. Erica Mark, the subscriptions are acting goofy again. Bought 10 subs and it charged my bank account, but it didn't assign subs to people in chat. Not complaining, just letting you know. I don't know what's happening, but I've gotten emails with a gift membership on a show that I didn't watch. So I don't know what is happening on that Diffuse. It might be something like that. You might there may still be memberships that are going out, and we just aren't seeing it right now. I don't know for sure. I mean, this is YouTube, so it's a black box, and I have no idea. But you know, we still deeply appreciate it, and hopefully it does get out to people, and that, you know, they will consider renewing and supporting the channel. Again, like the clips I mentioned earlier, I seem to be getting good feedback on that people like that. You know, please share them out. If there's a clip you like, you know, share it with people. And I also want to encourage people, if you want to clip the show and you like a moment, please do so. And again, share that out.
Right.
It helps get visibility. You know, we're trying to break out of our tiny room, aka closet, here on YouTube, and all of these things help a lot. James Bundy gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. And all of you can help with that. I am seeing in the stats that there are some things happening, and I think there are new people discovering. As I've said before, if you are new to the show, please tell us. Please comment, you know, below, especially if you're watching later on. Tell us how you found us. Tell us if it's in the feed. I would love to find out what's going on. I'd love to meet you. We always deeply appreciate anybody and everybody coming by. So we are going to be shifting over to our other location, our locals location. And on locals, we can be even looser with our language. We don't have to worry about saying, notice that this is unloaded, folks, and it is perfectly safe, which of course is going to be perfectly safe, but we always have to focus on these things.
I'm going to load it on
YouTube.
locals. I'm going to shoot
We're not going to load it on locals.
To load it on locals and shoot it through the roof.
No, he's
you're right. It's out the window.
He is obviously not going to do that, but on locals, we can say crazy words like that. And we can say the actual word if we mention that somebody took their own life. There's a word for it.
There's also, I posted something maybe on locals. It's the filing by the FCC against The View, which we're going to discuss in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. We will see all of you over there momentarily. And if not, when will we be on next, Mark?
I don't know. Sometime next week. We're going to have to figure it out.
Okay. Sometime then.